Hey everybody, it's Rob with the Gray Comics now. I did switch over from the Planeswalker. I wanted to start up my own channel called Gray Comics. The channel is primarily going to be about everything that I find comics, haul videos, etc., etc. If you follow me on Twitter, Gray Comics, or on Twitter, you'll see that I'm currently working on some of my own art. It's not that great, but I love comic books enough. I've always wanted to do my own, and so I've been working on improving my art. So if you guys decide to look out there, I'll put a link to my Twitter account below this video if you want to check it out. So I've actually got quite a bit of comics. I went to a lot of different places this past week, maybe a week and a half, and found some really good stuff. Went to my local flea market / peddlers malls, and found myself some pretty decent things, a couple of things to add to my collection, and then a couple of things that I thought were really nice pickups. So most of the stuff I got was not much more than $1. I actually got a couple that were pretty cheap, but pretty much everything was rolling in $1 range. So this is not in any particular order, so I'll go ahead and get started. Superman issue 626. Or Adventures of Superman 626. I got it because it's a really cool Michael Turner cover that I don't have. Identity Crisis number 4. If you guys looked previously, I think I showed a video on the Planeswalker where I got a whole bunch of Identity Crisis comics, but that was one of the ones I didn't end up getting. They were all Michael Turner covers. So that was cool to get that one. Pull the camera back a little bit if I can so you can see a little more. Moving on, Wolverine issue 79. I had this one in my collection at one point, but for some reason it disappeared. I don't know why, but it was nice to find it again. I always thought it was a really, really neat cover. I liked it a lot. Hawk and Dove issue 1. I know it's not their first series. But it was kind of cool to find. This is for the On-Running series that came out after another mini-series, which I'm not 100% positive in looking, because there's an old school Dove. I saw it in somebody's video, I think it's maybe Vin Cruz, where there's a different Dove who was actually a male, and then they switched over to a female, and I can't remember where her first appearance is. But I did go ahead and pick that up, and then I picked up this Hawk and Dove issue number 2 from the miniseries. It just is together again for the first time, which I think is always funny. I always think it's a funny line. I see that on comics quite a few times. Together again for the first time. Wolverine issue 55. I didn't have this in my Wolverine collection, so I figured I'd go ahead and add it. Trying to collect a lot of volume 1, and I have quite a bit of volume 1, but there's some here or there that I've been missing, so I've been picking those up whenever I can find them if they're not too expensive. With the death of Wolverine being just recent, a lot of Wolverine comics have gone up a lot. Wolverine issue 54. None of them are really any keys, I don't believe, but they're just nice. I'm a bit of a completionist when it comes to volume 1 Wolverine, so I've been working on that a lot. See, I picked this up for $1 as well. Doom Patrol number 1. I think it's the second series of Doom Patrol. I picked that up. I figured it's a pretty nice pickup for $1. I also picked this up for $1. I thought it was a really cool cover, but I know it's not anything special. But Dean Koontz Frankenstein. Man, I cannot keep hitting my camera today, I tell you what. Nothing special, but I picked it up. These actually picked up for 50 or 75 cents a piece. If you have seen my videos before, I've picked up a Secret Defenders before, and it was in pretty rough shape. There's nothing special about it. I just like the cover. It's a Wolverine cover, and it's nice and shiny. It's in pretty decent shape. And I got it for 75 cents. The one I got before ended up having tears and stuff down the bottom, so I wanted to get a better copy. Next one I got, I saw this in there for 50 cents, and it made me pretty upset because there's still a little sticky left on the cover. I need to find a way to get rid of it, but I'm not exactly sure how to say this person's name. I think it's Evangeline, but it's a really cool cover, chromium cover. If you look kind of at the top, you might not be able to tell, but there's a little sticky from where they put the stickers on the actual comics at one of the places I go to. They're just trying to get rid of them, and they put stickers directly on the comics. And these chromium covers I was having a hard time getting the sticker off, and I tried my best. I didn't want to put any chemicals on it, so I was trying my best to get it off with soap and water, or you know, tried a little bit of alcohol. I didn't really want to use alcohol, but I tried a little bit, and it didn't seem to help much either, because I didn't want to damage the comic. So I was kind of reserved on what I wanted to do. And then I got this comic, which I actually forgot the name of the comic. It was another chromium. I think it's like a Gloria Evangeline or Evangeline Glory, issue number 1. I know they're not really worth a whole lot, but I just thought they're really cool chromium covers. You can see where it's a little sticky on the top from that stupid sticker I tried to get off there. You know, didn't want to damage the comic. But a couple nice little finds. Gotta move those out of the way. Found these at my local Peddler's Mall. I got them for, I think they were $2 a piece. They're in rough shape, but I just thought it was kind of nice to have them, add them to my collection. They're not really worth a whole lot. They're no keys. They're in rough shape, but nice little reader copies. Superboy issue 189. And then Superboy issue 150. Yeah, and as you can tell, I mean, they're in rough shape. They're writing, staples and stuff coming out, bends and creases, and they're not in very good shape. But for reader copies and for, you know, just to have, because they're old school copies, I thought it was really nice. Some old school kind of Silver Age comics. And then Superboy issue 151. And this one's actually in pretty rough shape too. But I mean, they're together. They're probably at best 1s or 2s, maybe a 3 at best on those. But there's nothing special about them. It's just I want to pick them up for reader copies. I apologize for sniffling. I'm kind of getting over a small cold I just recently picked up. Alright, so one last thing I forgot I was going to show. Went to one of my local comic shops, and I told you guys recently about a comic shop I go to that where I picked up my Virgin Red Sonja cover. And I was looking around trying to see what all Jim Lee covers I could find, because I like Jim Lee's art quite a bit. And I know he did some Red Sonja, so I found that he did Red Sonja Claw number 1, and I went to that comic shop and he had it priced at like $15. I just felt that was a little high, because it wasn't. I think it's a variant cover. I'm not 100% sure. There's 2 different covers for Red Sonja Claw number 1, but I just felt like it's priced a little high. I looked it up. It wasn't really worth much more than $8 or $9, so I had a hard time wanting to spend $15, even though I was going to get my 35% discount on it. I still didn't really want to spend the $11, $12 that I was going to pay for it. So I went to one of my other comic shops and looked around, and I actually ended up finding the Red Sonja Claw, and he actually sold it to me for a $1 buff cover, so it was $4. I bought it for $4. I didn't think that was too bad. And I like the artwork. Jim Lee does some really good artwork. I like him a lot. But yesterday, well, for you guys it might be a different day depending on when this video goes up, but Saturday, this past Saturday, me and my dad went to a comic shop that he'd found out about. It's a little bit of a distance away, but I'd never been there before. And when we went in there and I started looking around, I literally fell in love with this comic shop. It's probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, comic shop now. I do enjoy my comic shop where I have my my membership at, The owner there is really cool. I've known him for a long time, and he is a businessman. He does a really good job. But this comic shop, I just like the design of it. It looks really, really nice. And he had a whole lot of comics, like just tons and tons and tons of comics. And he had stuff separated, and then he had a whole bunch of long boxes that weren't separated at all. You just had to go through and find stuff, and some of it didn't have any prices on it. So I ended up picking up quite a few comics that didn't have any prices on it, just kind of hoping that maybe he would give them to me at a decent price, because I knew a few of them were actually worth a little bit of money, but I wasn't sure what he was going to offer me on them. So I wasn't sure if I was going to end up getting them or not, but he ended up offering me some pretty good value on some of them, so I decided to get those. First off is one of my newer comics. I just got it because it's the variant, He-Man, the Eternity War variant cover. He was selling it for cover price. I didn't have it, so I decided to just pick it up. Thought that was kind of nice to pick up for cover price. Let me see what else I get. You'll actually see the prices on most of the stuff I paid for. This is the only other comic I spent a little bit of money on, and it's because it's a Adam Hughes cover that's kind of hard to find for me. I'm pretty sure Tom Ryan had this in one of his previous videos, but Vengeance of Vampirella, issue 10, really nice Adam Hughes cover. He actually had one over there in the cheap bins for $1.50, but I looked at it and there were staples right here in the front cover and right here in the front cover. So it looked like somebody had pulled off almost looked like somebody had pulled off the cover and, you know, used it for whatever they wanted to use it for, I guess, I don't know. And then tried to restaple the cover back on and sell it. And, you know, for $1.50 more, I wanted to get this one because it was actually in, you know, pretty decent shape. And it's a really nice cover. Really nice Adam Hughes cover. Let's see, moving on here. Found quite a few comics I thought were just kind of nice little finds for cheap. See, spend $1 on this old Justice League 213. You know, it's not a key or anything. It's just a comic that I decided to pick up. Just a couple of these comics I picked up just for fun. Dark Claw Adventures #1. I believe this is actually Dark Claw's considered first appearance. There's another Dark Claw comic which I'm pretty sure I own somewhere. That has a cooler cover. This one's based off the, you know, like Batman Adventures artists. But I thought it was a neat pickup for $1.50. Another thing I was really glad to pick up for $1.50 was Masters of the Universe, J. Scott Campbell cover, issue #1. So it was really cool, J. Scott Campbell. I looked at it and I was like, this really, really looks like J. Scott Campbell, and I looked at it for a while. And I mean, it looks dead up like his artwork, and I could be wrong. It might not be a Scott Campbell, but it looks a lot like his. But I can't find his signature anywhere, so you guys might be able to tell me if I'm wrong. I'm looking around for. Oh nope, I see his signature now. It's really light. It's actually down. You might not be able to see it on the video. It's right there. It says Campbell. So yeah, it is a J. Scott Campbell cover. A couple other J. Scott Campbell covers picked up. Black Panther #1. Really nice J. Scott Campbell cover. And #2. Picked those up for $1.50 a piece. Thought that was pretty nice for $1.50. Another cool comic I picked up for $1.50. The tear is actually on. I think there's an interior bag in here. And there's a tear on the bag, but I figured it's not really worth anything. I just picked it up because I like the artwork on it. It's a Tomb Raider issue 18. It's an Adam Hughes cover. See the AH down the bottom. Another comic I picked up. I picked this up because, you know, it's the first appearance of Ghost. Comics Greatest World #3. I've run across it a couple times. If you guys saw one of my previous videos, I picked it up before for $1, and I got it for $1.50 this time. And it, you know, it was in good shape. He actually had another copy, but it was in rough shape, so I decided to let that one go. But I picked that up for $1.50. Next thing I picked up was Fallen Sun, Death of Captain America. It's issue number 1, Michael Turner variant cover, I believe. So I thought that was pretty cool for $1.50. Wolverine number 1. I don't have the Wolverine number 1 from this series, so I figured I'd pick that up. And then he also had the second printing variant of that Wolverine, so I thought that was pretty cool. I originally wasn't going to pick this up, but I decided to go ahead and get it because it was still only $2. I don't have all of the Death of Wolverine stuff. I'm trying to pick it all up. Weapon X Program issue number 1. Nothing spectacular about that. Another couple comics I picked up just because I'm trying to get a pretty good collection of Red Sonja going. Legends of Red Sonja number 1. He had that for $2. You know, half cover price. I'll pay half cover price for a Red Sonja comic if I can afford it at times, so I'm not too worried about it. And then Red Sonja the Black Tower, issue number 1 for $2. So those are my okay issues. I just got them more for read and just to add to collections, maybe for trade later. The last set of comics I've been saving up are actually my decent finds, especially from that, you know, they were all from that comic shop. Some pretty decent finds. I found some really nice comics for a pretty good price. First one, I actually found 3 copies of this. I only picked up 1. My dad picked up the other 2. But Hulk number 1, first appearance of Red Hulk. So he had them for $1.50 a piece. So, like I said, I found 3 copies of it. I was starting to run low on money by the time I found it, and I just decided I was just going to pick up 1. See if I can get this a little bit better. It's a little blurry. I could only afford 1. My dad picked up the other 2. Let me see. Next, I picked up this Fathom issue 10. This one was actually kind of a nice pickup for $1.50. It's actually the Dynamic Forces Perfect 10 variant. So it has a little bit of value to it. For $1.50, it was a pretty good find. This comic I picked up, it's a variant. I know it's not really worth a whole lot. I think it's only worth a few bucks, but I just picked it up because I surprisingly don't have this comic in my collection. And so it's more for my read than anything else. But Superman 75, it's the 3rd printing, I believe. The blue lettering, and I think there's a 3 here. That's the 3rd printing. So it's something that I can read because I've been trying to hunt down the black copy, and I wanted a reader copy. And I don't really want to, you know, have a white copy of Bust Open or anything like that. But that was pretty cool. Next thing I found, these are actually comics. Yeah, these comics are actually coming up. Were not priced, and I found them in some of his bins. And I went up there and I was trying to see how much he was going to charge me for them. And he said, well, he goes, if he looked through them, he said none of them looked like key issues to him. If he felt like they were key issues, he'd look them up, but off first glance, he didn't feel like any of them were key issues, so he gave them to me for $1 a piece. He said, you know, they'll just round down to $1 a piece on the ones that didn't have any labels on them. So I thought they were pretty good deals. There's one that I was really, really happy to walk away with for $1. Here's one of them. Superboy issue 180. As you can tell, I've been collecting a lot of Superboy because it's been easy to find lately. Got that for $1. This one has marker on it, but Action Comics $4.98, 40 cents. It's you know, it's got 15 cents marked on it. That's actually marked on the comic, which is kind of sad for me, but you know, if it's a reader copy, it's not too bad. Then next couple ones were kind of nice. I got this one. It's not really worth anything, but it was just kind of nice to pick up Tomb Raider issue number 1. Got it for $1. This next one, I'm not positive. I looked it up. It says that it's worth like somewhere between $18 and $20. I don't believe so, because there's no key anything to this issue, so I think that's just priced wrong. But I'll look it up a little more if I can. Star Wars issue 97. I mostly just got it because I also, for volume number 1, Star Wars, have been pretty avid collector of trying to get the whole series of that, and I was missing this issue, so I picked it up, and then I looked it up, and for some reason it was priced higher. I don't know why. In comparison to all the other issues around it, it's not really worth a whole lot. These last 2 comics I got for $1. I was really surprised to get them for $1, and like I said, he told me that he didn't think they were key issues, which one of them is. The other one is like a minor key. There's nothing really spectacular about it, it's just a really cool cover. And that's this one, Uncanny X-Men 212. There's debate about it. It might be the first time Wolverine and Sabretooth fight. I'm not positive if this predates the Wolverine. I'm pretty sure it predates the Wolverine issue 4 or maybe 6, where Wolverine and Sabretooth fight. Pretty sure it predates it. So this is considered the first time Wolverine and Sabretooth fight at all. And it's a pretty cool cover too. And in this comic, it was really cool to find. He said he didn't think it was a key issue, and it's a minor key. It's not really a super key, but it is a key issue, and I walked away with it for $1. And there's just a little nick in the corner is all. Suicide Squad 23, first appearance of Oracle. If you notice, there's a nick in the corner. I don't know if you can see that or not, but other than that, it's in pretty decent shape. And when I was going through the comics that he had, I expected he's probably going to look up each one and try and find out what the prices were on it, make sure he didn't lose any money, things like that. And it's understandable, it's business. But he was nice enough to just go ahead and let everything slide for $1. And this was a comic that I was kind of hoping I would get that lucky on, and I did. Because I was going through his comics, and it was literally the last box I was going to go through that day. It was taking me a long time. We were there for a couple hours, and I still hadn't even probably gone through maybe a fourth or a third of his long boxes. He had so many long boxes of comics that were unsorted, and a lot of them had no prices on them, so it was really nice. I do plan on going back there maybe even sometime this week if I get a chance and I have the money. But I was going through and I found a big long box and I saw Suicide Squad, and of course issue number 1 wasn't there. But I was just going through and I was like, oh well, it'd be really, really awesome if you had issue number 23. So I started going through, and it looked like, like a collection he had bought from somebody, and I was just going through each one and got to issue 23 and it was there, and I was like, oh man, that's the issue I've been trying to hunt down. I got all the other minor key Suicide Squad issues I wanted to get, including issue number 1, if you guys watched in the previous video. And so I was just kind of hoping I could walk away with it for a decent price. I mean, I was hoping for $1, but I really didn't want to spend more than $5 or $6 if I didn't have to. But, I walked away with it for $1. Nice minor key issue, and it's really cool to add to my collection, so was excited about that. But I believe that is actually all I have for this week. Thanks for watching, guys, and keep on collecting, and we'll catch you guys back here next time.